for Paragon. See here. Alright, so almost a full fucking day of playing this game. Not too bad so far. Well, there's like a lot of stupid stuff, but I mean, it's a game still in open beta, so what do you expect? I mean, they gotta work, they gotta progress, they gotta do changes, find out what's their niche, what's working, what isn't working. It takes a lot of work and time. So if you are gonna play, be prepared. I mean, you're going to see some things that you think could be better, others are gonna think that you're wrong and that they're fine the way they are, but it's a MOBA, so bear that in mind. Everyone's got an opinion, and they all smell like shit. So, with that, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But anyways, so far, game, graphic-wise, great. Not too bad. Skin rendering is probably the best I've seen for a MOBA. I mean, normally you get, like, cartoonish kind of graphics, but this is actually pretty hyper-realistic. I wouldn't exactly say too hyper, but, you know. Basically, you're going to be playing League. Like, let's be honest here. You're going to be playing League or Smite. It's got jungles, it's got lanes, your towers, and all that jazz. They're almost all the exact same fucking game. The only thing that makes it different is the decks. And, well, we'll get into that once I actually get to the match. And, of course, as you can expect with all MOBAs, your queue time sucks cock. Oh, look, here we go. Let's see if they'll actually all join. Booyah! Normally it's a little bit better. Sometimes I have really shitty days and luck. Community isn't too talkative like Michael as far as I've noticed, but everyone does like to use signals, which is great because communication helps out a lot in your team. What is going on with matchmaking? I don't know. And as you can see, this guy, Dr. Freezy Beezy, right now complaining about the matchmaking issues. That is, like I said, a thing sometimes. But again, MOBA. It happens. It's just like, you know, Call of Duty. Sometimes you get fucked and you're stuck waiting for like 15 minutes. So don't let that deter you. As for like character concepts, that's what makes the game like really fun for me, is all the different character concepts they have. You get a good smattering of different characters, melee and range. So like, they got a few more melee than they do ranged, and in my opinion, the melee are a little bit unbalanced compared to some of the range characters, i.e. a lot of them, but it's not that bad. It's not like, you know, where you'll have games like League, when they first released the Lowy. You know, you're not having characters that are stupidly overpowered like that. They have a few problems with Aurora right now, but in all honesty, you just have to play smart. If you see her going in on you, back the fuck up. It's just that simple. But that should be how it is with almost every big damaging melee character. You see him coming towards you, back the fuck up unless you have help, and then, well, you know, do your business. Jungling as part of this is really not that pivotal of a point as it is in Smite and League. I don't know why that is. It might be because of the camps. In all honesty, the buffs aren't that great. But the jungler is vital for making sure that you get your card points so you can buy the stuff out of your deck and make your team stronger. So if you don't have a jungler, you're going to be seeing your team operating a lot slower, getting buffs a lot slower, just not performing the way that you should be. And it also helps with ganks. Ganks are very important in all MOBAs, and especially in this one, because ganks really do turn the game around. One jungler can easily come into a lane, gank 3 people by himself without any help if he knows what he's doing. I'm not lying, I've seen it done with Chimera. It's fucking insane. We're gonna go with the power. Now, I'm playing Gadget currently right now. Gadget is a mid laner. She has daily damaging abilities, so kind of mage type. She has a mine. I always start out with that with her. Speed Gate is one of those abilities that I'm going to mention needs to not be used. The reason I say that is because you're wasting a level up for something that doesn't do a whole lot of damage, only gives you a minor speed buff that you really don't even notice, and it's just obtrusive. It takes up too much mana. It's just not a good ability. However, it is still useful in some cases, like if you just need to get back to lane really quick, it does help out a little bit with that, but yeah, I'd rather take something else. Hey look, there's that asshole. That's Greystone. This is the mine. I always take the first I launch it. If anyone goes in that circle that you see that Greystone is lucky enough to get out of, it'll attach to them, and then it'll just do a certain amount of damage. And it scales really well. So I usually take that as the first one. Most characters do have an ability kind of like that. Chimera has a dive. They all have that kind of first ability that you should go towards that's good for either getting out or getting in and doing a lot of damage. The mine for death is probably the most deadliest one. It should be leveled up quickest. You can go up to 600 damage and use this ability. And it has a stupid range. It shows the circle, which is a limited range, but honestly, if you just aim up, it really keeps going. Junglers may not be getting all the CC, but he's able to do shit like that. And he probably hasn't even killed anything. He's probably level 1, and he's easily able to go pretty much to any champion he wants to and just fuck their butt. It's pretty stupid. Gets kind of frustrating, but not as bad as you think. A couple more cards and I'll be perfectly fine. Like I said, as you can see, my teammates are signaling all the time too as well. There's not a lot of voice chat, but there is a lot of signaling with the in-game signaler, like, you know, go left, enemies missing left. People use it a lot, and it's really nice because, unlike a lot of games, communication can be hard to find. In this game, it never seemed to be a problem. As soon as I downloaded the game, community was very talkative. However, of course, again, like in MOBA, you're going to deal with a lot of noobs who think they know what they're doing, but really don't. Again, don't let that deter you because that's the player basis. So as you see, I have two things on the left and the right of my mana and health bar. The one with blue has XP, you guessed right, that's your level. And then the one with the 5 on it, that's your card points. That's basically the currency, like where you would buy your store. In this case, you buy upgrades and cards like that. Decks you can make with all kinds of different things that have different abilities. Currently, right now, it's not too smart to like try to develop a big strategy for them because they're just going to throw it out and redo it. They've already announced it. It's on the roadmap, so you might as well just have fun with it now as much as you can. So some of the stuff you can do is kind of funny and busted. Being able to give any character almost like triple their attack speed, even like a big, heavy, slow-moving, is just funny as shit. A lot of people don't expect it. They can do a lot of damage really quickly, and it's just or just giving, you know, made characters a ton of life to them. Also hilarious. Oh yeah, that's the other thing with the mine. Say that you have a Chimera who's going to die on somebody, but you can't reach the person with the mine. Just attach it to Chimera. It will attach to him, won't damage him, and the AoE will still hit the target that he's going after, thus guaranteeing the kill, or at least damaging him. Right now, he's another really beefy melee type. I wouldn't say it's beefy as in the sense of being healthy. I would say beefy as in you can spread your armor, everything, in like a couple seconds. All of her abilities are trying to get in there, crit, take away armor, and spread the opponent as quickly as possible. And she gets life. Greystone, the easiest way to describe him is he's melee Anivia from League of Legends. He has a revive, he can do a lot of damage, has a good AoE, kind of PoE, dive. He's really nice as a tank. Or as a jungler too, because he spits out damage. He has his own life thing, so it's pretty nice. Meow! 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 Look at Aurora! Oh, shit. That's what it's like to be a mage. Goes in middle lane and everyone's like, oh, attack. Now, the other thing you're going to notice about this game, too, which is one peeve of mine, is the health and ability of the towers themselves. It's really hard to defend the towers sometimes because they don't have a lot of health, they don't do a lot of damage or very quickly, and they don't have a very large range. So that kind of is a deterrent. I mean, they're a little bit bigger than smites from what it looks like. Maybe I have to double check in a while. But they just don't have a lot. The other thing I'm concerned about a little bit is the minion. Minion damage isn't really that good. I think what you would expect of it. Not a lot, not too much. Just enough where it kind of belongs. Kind of like a nice, well-oiled train just moving along. But when minions start hitting you, all of a sudden they just have, God Hammer and they're, fucking your buttholes. I don't know what it is. It might be a bug. It might be something that they decided to put into the game itself. But minions do a lot more damage to you than they do to the house. Not by minions. Plenty of people died. Just a couple of seconds. I think my gravestone I saw down about 15 seconds, surrounded by, I'd say 6, maybe 7 minions. And that was without any heroes. This is Gadget's ult. It's a little area. And once it gets leveled up and you get some cards, it can push out a lot of ult. That being said, not everybody's ult is as damaging or useful carrying as Gadgets or a lot of champs are like that for like Twin Blast, for example. His ult's really not that good. I mean, he gets increased range, but when you compare it to somebody like Sparrow's main R1 ability, it doesn't have the amount of damage that that puts out at one time, and it only has 100 units more range of range. So really not that good. Whoops, there we go. You want to get in? You want to go in? I don't see you. Go in! Go in! Go in! Alright, I'm going to die. The other thing that happens, a lot of teams are a little bit sick and shit. I can understand why, because some champions can go in, they decide to, fuck you. But then you get this stupid mistake. She went in after I came out. Don't do that. If I'm leaving, and you know I'm not going to come back to help you, or you don't dive in that way. That's how you get killed. That's what's going on.
Allied tower destroyed.
Yeah, and if the left tower just went down, they probably had minions up on that maybe 2 or 3 times and barely on their head. So, like I said, the health really is you really do have to kind of rotate by your towers, mainly for their sake more than your own. The other thing is, of course, towers don't attack the heroes if the minions are there. And obviously, if you, then they're going to attack them. But if you hit them, your tower will still attack the minions and not the minions. So also keep that in mind. It actually is better to run in, take the hit if they're in the range, and let the turret start taking them out. It doesn't push out a lot of damage, but it is still extra damage and may scare them off and keep you alive. And keep tower for a little bit longer. Now I could go and help them, but I have no mana and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to still 2 more points. Here's the cards. Going over these a little bit, you can see that power is obviously referencing to everything. That's your ability power, your basic attack. Power just adds to all of your damage, plain and simple. Some cards give you mana and have certain costs in the corner right there. It's a really shitty system to be honest. Like, this is an 8 cost that will take quite a while to actually get the points to be able to equip it and use it. Granted, it gives me a cool unique passive when I actually have it fully upgraded, but it's still not that useful as just grabbing some of these cards and then just stacking up your main stuff, your mana regen, health regen, etc. I mean, cool, the unique actives are kind of nice, but overall, they cost way too much to get to them, and once you do get them, they're kind of like, you just don't use them as often. And other people are way ahead of you damage and health-wise simply because they bought the cheaper cards that give them the exact same amount of stat cost, 50 health or 30 mana. So you get an active with the same amount of health where you get stats cheaper, quicker, and possibly more. But like I said, they are going to completely redo it on the roadmap. So another reason actually to join the game. You get to do a lot of development. A lot of things that's not as big of a part as you really think, but every gamer really does count when it comes to this because data and that's what we're looking for. Now, as you can see, I'm, like I said, really bad shot with my Seek and Destroy mine. That thing, though, can save your ass. It adds a very heavy minus to movement speed, and it does constant damage too as well. And once you get it leveled up, they're basically staying still in that time. It's taking constant damage. So it's a really good thing to take either first or second. The cool thing too is it doesn't have a range cap. You can just launch it as long as it doesn't hit anything. You just hit R1 when you want to and it stops. So I think people see this motherfucker halfway down the lane easily and just set it up. And so it chunked down the minions a little bit, made them a little bit weaker, and slowed them down too, giving us a little bit of a distance. So keep that in mind when using that. Super useful. As you can see, I've not upgraded my tower, but just a little bit. Me and my minions have only been here twice on that tower, and we're already I'm probably going there now, actually. Look, and I'm not even that much of a game hero. I can't use any of my abilities on the tower. That was just a basic attack. And that's how quickly we can do the tower. Well, Aurora. Now, she's the one that they've been having a lot of problems with, again, because she's a new character, haven't really had a chance to balance her, or really see what she's fully capable yet in player's hands. And players are finding out all kinds of unique tricks to pull off with Aurora. Her dash is one of the longest in the games, and it creates an ice path that if anything hits it, it gets stuck on it and frozen for like a second, or 0.5 seconds. I can't remember. But one of those two. That already in and of itself is super nice. Then she has an AoE that lays an ice ring that stays there for around 6 seconds, I believe. That one I'm also going to double check. But it also stops the enemy and damages them too as well. So she has two abilities that can be used as an AoE technically, and stop enemies and also deal damage to them. So that's amazing. Her ult is really nice. Still just flashes a very large area really covering up the entire width of the lane, and like that kill box in between the 4 points here, right on the river, yeah, it'll cover up this whole area all the way to the walls of the jungle. And anybody caught in that starts to freeze slowly, so you use it to rapidly drop, you take damage, then you explode, take more damage, and anything that wasn't frozen when you exploded is now freezing as well, and you go. So yes, your minions, if they explode and you're not frozen, and you pop first, you will get frozen again. So yeah, she's pretty dumb. A lot of people can just take her and go solo and they can get hard, go in there, smack them around a little bit, get 1 kill, and you can get like 2 points, go back and get a 5 card. What are you doing? Because that Kamari's gonna fuck my butt. No shit, I'm retreating. I saw him too. One thing that I don't know if they intentionally did as well is the wards for the map. Now, of course, as an avid League player, I will tell you, wards save lives. Ward, please use your wards. I cannot express that enough. Please save a life, place a ward. That being said, on this though, they happen to show you where your enemy places the wards. I don't know again if that's intentional or not, but it seems kind of stupid. However, I like using it because it gives me a major advantage when I'm traveling through the jungles, especially now that I know where their vision is and the range of their vision, because all of them have the exact same vision. You don't have to worry about stepping. Oh, go down, Kamari.
Enemy has been slain.
But yeah, it allows you to navigate through the jungle without giving away your position, and also knowing where they're positioned. Because as soon as it pops up, you know, hey, there's somebody there in the jungle. Let's go take care of that. One thing that a lot of players will also tell you who play this game way more than me, so they probably know a little bit better than I do, is that you need to have some cards for late game. Because you start off by building a cheap card and stuff like that, and then you can discard the cards to gain the points back and buy the more expensive cards and the more expensive cost. However, that just means you've done it because, again, the more expensive cards don't give you any better stats, and sometimes they give you actives that really aren't even that good or useful for most characters, for like one, maybe two characters. Like Iggy, for example, is the only character that actually stats first. That being said, there's cards that when you're burned, you get this stuff, or you get this, well, if they don't have an hit, you honestly already, void. Well, you can not there, you get in the hit. And then instead of get to have the good stats that you need to make the character fully viable, especially the weaker characters. Like Twin Black or Murdoch. They're weak characters, they need to be Back up! Back up, bro! Back up, bro! Bro! See, and this is what I mean. You deal with noobs sometimes. It happens. But don't let that disturb you from the quality of the game, because that's just a place. And when it comes to, like, Elo, the game is open beta. You shouldn't be worrying about that kind of stuff. It's not even fully released or developed yet, technically. So there shouldn't be a reason to worry about that kind of stuff, or when rank's coming out, or if it's going to be a thing. It doesn't matter in the long run. It's plain and simple. There we go. Now, as you can see, you'll get a lot of big mistakes too, like people will just completely leave a lane because everyone else is in another lane. This may be a slightly different type of MOBA, but it still acts like a regular MOBA. There's objectives, and that's how you win. I've won plenty of matches where I've had, 10, 12 deaths, and maybe 2 kills at the most, and no assists, and still won simply because I obtained the shot. And in this game, the objectives are just that. Take out the towers, and you got your buff from the jungle, maybe get the prime or dragon, if you want to reference it to that, because it's the same thing. Here's some of the enemy buff camps. Some of them aren't buffs at all, though, like that one. That's just weaker minions that you're able to quickly take out, or the jungler is able to quickly take out, to get card points that translate to everyone who are on your team. And I really like that idea, because that is a way for junglers to still get all the stuff that they need, and also help speed up the gameplay of the other lanes too as well. The one thing I don't like, though, is that that's such a big priority that the buffs you don't really get as often. Some of the buffs are good, like the XP buff. Jungler gets it, whatever lane is in gets more additional XP on minions and hero kills for their cards. That's just really useful. But it doesn't last that long, and when you have other areas that give you card points, what's the point of having, additional in one lane when you can just go through and kill a couple of and then everyone gets it. I honestly think that if they want to keep those around, they need to review the buff and reduce them a little bit, or maybe even adding them for an instant game rate more important than it is in some games. But then some people, can argue that the jungle is the most important role in the game. My personal opinion, the tank is probably one of the most important. But that's all. Oh wow, look at that fire. Yeah, we have no chance. That's a cool thing too. I highly suggest if you do play the game, they have a little survey at the end whenever you do surrenders, or sometimes it's like every, I want to say it's like 15 or 20 matches. They'll ask you how the game's going, any bugs you're doing. Please fill those out if you do play. Again, it's very important. It helps us get a good game and helps us developers. they already have a lot of work done. I mean, I've just looked in a little bit to wanting to make a video game and tried a little bit of it, and dear God, good job, bros. Like, it's a lot of work. So any help, please give it to them, and it also makes a great game for us too as well. And who doesn't want that? I mean, this is our life. Let's be honest here. If you were born anywhere in the 90s and up, video games or technology in general is your life. Like, let's be honest here. So why not have the best that you can get? Ooh, the Circuit Drive. Now see, here's the other thing that I want to point out too, is you get cards like this. This is a great 3-cost card. You get 6 power, you get 0.3 mana gem, and you get attack speed. When it's fully upgraded, you get more attack speed, and you can upgrade it with any of those 3 things. That's a really great 3-cost card. It gives you a lot of stuff that some champions need all of at once, and it's all on one card. Granted, you're not getting some of the big numbers like ones that give you 12 power or the full 11 attack speed, but you're still getting everything you need for your base, and you can upgrade it as you like. Now, I would take plenty of these over, say, an 8-cost card that just gives me a shield for 15 seconds. The reason why that is because I can build up cards that will give me enough armor to not need the shield and still give me all of the other stuff that I need as well, like, say, mana, for example, if it's a mana-heavy character, or lifesteal if I wanted to do lifesteal, or if they use lifesteal. You have 40 cards in your deck. I have a couple here from characters I like to play the most. Iggy and Scorch is probably one of the funnest characters I've played, simply because his concept's great. His kit is really well designed. It's just he himself doesn't have the stat balances that he really needs. He doesn't push out a lot of damage, and he's really squishy when he shouldn't be, or at least more mobile instead. Gadget, that's the character I was just playing, mage type. Sparrow's a carry. Grim's a weird character. He's kind of like a character, like a carry, but at the same time, he's also a really good support. Let's go over some of that shit here. You know what, let's start. I would just like to do on and everything. And everything, like, UI-wise, is sleek as shit. Like, this is one of the cleanest UIs I've seen in a game. There's no delay between going through the menus or bringing stuff up. It's really sleek looking. I really like the design of it and how they have everything laid out. The print is a nice size. It could be a little bit bigger, I'll admit. There are some things like this, like friend from your friend, like, you know, black on black. Okay, not their best move, but regardless, it's a really slick system. And what's cool, you get little bonuses for leveling up characters and just getting masteries. So once I unlock this, every time I play with him, if I'm using the Challenger skin, I get 5% match XP, and then my teammates get an additional XP and reputation bonus too as well. So that's really cool. Building up characters not only gives you access to different skins, taunts, and things like that, and just free card packs, fuck yes, but it also can give you chances to get loot chests, keys that are straight from the store, usually that you have to purchase. Really cool addition. But they also give you XP and things in-game to help get you more reputation and your team more reputation to buy cards and other things that you may want, like more different boosts, hero taunts and skins again, stuff like that. Alright, so Grim's abilities. Tutorial, to say real quick, don't look at the tutorials because unfortunately they're not updated yet to how the new system works. So you're going to hear energy damage and attack damage and shit like that, and some of the skills that they have on the videos, they don't have it anymore, and sometimes are completely different. So just kind of look for YouTube videos and things like that as tutorials. A lot of great players on there right now that are doing Aurora. Grim's another popular one too as well. A lot of melee characters like Greystone and Brux, those have some great tutorials because, especially Greystone, you can play in so many different ways and so many different lanes. So he's got a lot of really good videos. As for abilities, so starting out with Grim, he's got a pulse cannon. Now every ranged character has the exact same range. It doesn't matter what range character you have. When it comes to basic attacks, they all have the exact same range no matter what. So that's kind of nice, that's kind of bad. It depends on how you feel about that, because honestly, I believe that some range characters should have a higher range or a shorter range because, well, shotgun types for instance. Those should have a shorter range, but of course you should have more damage. It should kind of balance itself out. Moving on, we have his R1, his deflector shield. Probably the first ability you should get every single time. It's too useful. Activates for 1 second, and it works just like, you know, a mana shield. It hits like Sivir. You get hit with an ability with the shield on, you get 25% of your missing mana back. Stupid useful, especially early game when you're facing, say, a Greystone. You turn on your shield, and it blocks the next incoming ability. That happens to be Greystone's Whirlwind. Yes, it blocks the whole Whirlwind, even when the shield's off. So still take it even when it comes to channeled abilities like that. Also works on all ultimates, so that's a great reason to have it too as well. Just take it first, hands down, cheap mana cost, why not? The Placement Blast. This thing is hard as shit to aim, but damn, could you have fun with this ability. So it's pretty high mana cost early game, so obviously you want mana regen and mana for Grim. You really don't need to worry about power, because again, he's more like a support carry, which is nice. But the Lob Shot displaces enemies and pushes them away from the center point when you hit them. Now, what's cool about that is it does a decent amount of damage and scales pretty well damage-wise, but the displacement is what really gets beefy, because that scales too. So if you pop it behind them, you can actually pull them out of their turret with your blast and then get them into your range and out of their turret range, and then you can start laying down the beatdown. But like I said, it is really hard to judge the aim of this because it's kind of a lob, but it's a long lob. Suppression mode. This is why he's a support character. When it's toggled on, yeah, you're using 12 mana per shot, but it applies at first level 80 minus max movement speed. Sorry if I'm getting tongue-tied. For 1.5 seconds, and it constantly does that too as well. So you can go in there with a carry, take that as your second level up, and all of a sudden you can just go in, pop your deflector shield, and take that body shot from the ability, pull them out, and then suppress mode them, and then keep them slowed and in the range of your carry, but still behind you, and you can just take the damage for them. And you won't be taking a lot of damage because you're still doing your main basic attack basic damage. Awesome. And on top of that, you're slowing them, so you're not taking any minuses to your damage, just your mana pool. It's a great ability and should always be taken second or first, depending on how you play. If you want to play more aggressive, take it first, because then you can try to sneak around in your jungle while you're popping some wards for some vision early game, and you might see the jungler or an enemy moving through there too. You can take them down if you know what you're doing with your carry. GTFO. This ability is hilarious. The reason why is because as long as you have eyesight, physical eyesight, it doesn't work like Murdoch's ability that actually shoots through the world, even if you see them highlighted by one of your friendly heroes' vision or your minion's vision. This though, if they get locked onto it, it doesn't matter where they go. As soon as they're locked on, you can hit the button. If they go behind a wall, it goes straight through it and hits them, and it just deals a flat damage. It ignores all ability armor too as well. That's the best part. And if it happens to move through non-hero units, they take damage too as well. I think that's a bug currently though, but might as well take advantage of it while you can. It's also a very cheap mana-wise ability too as well, so don't be afraid to pop it off even if you're at low mana. Most of the time, you're going to have mana regen on Grim. So yeah, pop it off whenever you can. If you see someone in sight, fucking take the shot. If they're running away, definitely use it to take the shot because you don't have a range. As long as they're in your eyesight, pop it off, it'll follow them, it'll hit them unless anybody gets in the way. But either way, you get worse because someone got hit. But that's Grim in a nutshell. He's a good carry, but as I said before, he's also a really good support too, because now you're building up your damage doubled over because technically you have two carries, but you have a guy you can build beefy, and then you have slows and displacements and a deflector shield as well. So he makes for a really good adjustable tank who actually still has damage and range. Probably one of the better developed characters that they have. And he has sweet skin. To be honest, the Firewall Grim.exe is pretty fucking cool. Now, going to melee characters, we're going to go to one of my favorite melee characters, and that is Chimera. Chimera is hilarious. A lot of people have a problem with him because, one, he's really fast. Just naturally, his movement speed is a little bit higher than other people. But he's a jungler. He's a ganker. What do you expect him to have? Now, his hack doesn't deal as much damage. It's only 58 basic damage, and a lot of people like to build just straight power on Chimera, but I've seen more effective use made with him with crit chance. Granted, yeah, you want to beef out his power because his first ability, oh, nope, that's not the one. Is it Unleash? Yeah, Unleash. Now, when you activate that, your attack speed is maxed out. So that's really cool, because it only lasts for 5 attacks within 5 seconds, but you don't need to build attack speed at this time. You can just focus on damage, and the reason why your hack damage scaling is reduced to 60% during these attacks. So you want to build up your damage mainly to kind of negate that and even that out. But by using crit, you don't have to worry about that, because you're going to have a high enough crit and you can get it up to 85, 90%. I've seen it done. You can't get 100%, but you can get 95% crit. Dumb. But Unleash is on such a low cooldown by the time you fully level it up, and it's such a cheap mana when you build Chimera, you might as well do it, because in those 5 attacks, you're going to crit. Even if you're starting out at the beginning of the game and you have just a little bit of crit, you have a much higher chance of critting, so you kind of want to raise that. I would suggest doing a balance of both, just to get the best of both worlds, and because your card spread is better, and you have a chance to get other stats and buffs that going just damage or just crit doesn't allow you to have, or just doesn't have currently right now. Now, Ambush, going back to that, Ambush is a great move. It's probably his main move. A lot of people take it first. I understand. You leap to the target enemy hero. It's got a really good range. It only starts out at 55 ability damage, which is worse than your hack, but when you consider the range on it, it makes sense. Plus, you minus their max movement speed by 550 in a small AoE. So that's everybody. Everybody. Even the minions. So it's really great because you can just go in on, you know, the support or the carry or something. Everyone else is slowed down. They're, of course, going to run away. They usually do. And so while you're chasing them, beating their ass, their friends can't get to you because they're just walking along like they just got drugged. So it's a really good ability for your first pick. Unleash always is your second pick, no matter what. Spirit Regen is the other alternate first pick. The reason people always pick Unleash second is because that's one of his main abilities to still go in and actually do out damage. Ambush is nice, but Unleash still does more damage. Now, Spirit Regeneration is great because he's one of the few heroes that has a passive. Now, Chimera's health regen is boosted by +1 for 2.2 seconds each time he lands a hack, ambush, or call attack on an enemy. So anytime you do anything, legitimately anything, you're getting this. Fucking awesome. This affects stacks too and increases in effectiveness each time the ability is leveled up. And it's got a pretty good scaling. I think it goes from 1 to 2, maybe 5. I'd have to look that up again because they don't list it here, which that also is going to probably be coming in the next few patches as well, because people have been complaining about the information that you're given. Hello there, buddy. Thanks for joining. As for Call, now after a brief channel, Chimera stuns and causes 250 ability damage to target enemy hero. Nearby enemies are displaced and receive 60% max movement speed slow for 3 seconds. It's a really good ult. It's just, yeah, if you want to play Paragon with me, I'm totally down. I'm just doing a little show here. But anyway, back to the max movement speed slow and everything here. It's a really good ult. It's one of the better ults in the game. The stun in and of itself is useful. Not a lot of people have stuns in this game. It's actually kind of a big myth thing. I think 2-3 people have stuns, and everybody has like some sort of slow. They really like to play with their slow abilities. The displacement is really nice too as well, because when you're using your cult, you want to use it on mainly somebody who's surrounded, or to take out a tank, in all honesty. The reason why is because tanks in this game are incredibly terrifying. Greystone is terrifying. Aurora is terrifying. Richter, fuck, Sevrog, they are scary ass motherfuckers to deal with and a pain to take down. With Call, you displace everybody who's going to try to stop you from taking them out. You're going to stun them, slow them, and you're going to chunk down their damage. And Cull is great to pop after you use Ambush. Best combo, Ambush, Cull, go to Unleash. The reason why you don't want to Unleash and then Cull is because you're actually going to take away from your Cull. I have seen it, and I think that's a bug as well. But again, open development, it's going to happen. Now, for some of the characters that need some work or a lot of work, let's go to Narbosh. Now, Narbosh, I personally think he's a great concept. He's an orc drummer. He's got a really cool character design, more cowbell. You gotta love this guy. Now, he's really slow, but he does a lot of damage. 70 basic damage for his melee just starting off. He thunks things hard. Speaking of thunk, R1, his thunk ability. Take this first. Hey, bud. The reason thunk is great is, of course, it's a stun for 0.9 seconds, almost a full second, and it does 85 ability damage. Scales beautifully, and the stun does scale as well. That's the sexy part. So instead of just getting a 0.9 second stun, you get a stun that upgrades. It's awesome. And again, the 85 ability damage starting out, it's a great ability to start out with. Now, some people like to take Song of My People for their first one. I can completely understand, because again, this is a great ability from Narbosh. It's just a toggle. Your aura that grants 10 health regen uses 11 mana every second while it's active. Stupid useful. This guy is just made to be like the the John Bonham of supports. That's what he is right now. And he actually has both arms. That means he's double as good. Now, March, it grants 65 movement speed for 3 seconds, and that does increase as it levels up too as well. The thing I don't like about March, though, is that it's not a toggle ability like Song of My People. I think Narbosh should be a toggle character. He should have more toggles, and Thunk should be on a lower cooldown, and yeah, just on a lower cooldown, and maybe a little bit cheaper with a little less ability damage. Because then you have him constantly giving buffs, kind of like a Sonya thing. You can either always have movement speed, so you can go in. You have the song, so you can switch to health regen. Kind of make him like a beefy Lucio from Overwatch, if you want to think about it that way too. Now, his ultimate ability is really good too as well. Deafening Crash Bang Boom is hilarious because it knocks up enemies, implies a 500 max movement speed slow, and deals 280 ability damage over 3 seconds. This ability is hilarious because the AoE is stupid huge, and everybody gets launched. It's not just like a little knock-up. No, they send these motherfuckers flying. It's kind of funny, in all honesty. And it's pretty cheap, too, because it doesn't scale mana-wise as heavily as some of the other ults do. And its cooldown is pretty decent. I think the best cooldown, though, by far, is gotta be Chimera's. His ult cooltime is the lowest in the game. It's really dumb. They're probably gonna patch and fix that, though. Right, exactly. Yeah, I went over that. Right. And the other thing with Narbosh, I almost forgot this. The reason why he's not a good hero, because everything I said probably makes him sound like an amazing hero. The shitty part is not a lot of people playing him, and it's because he moves too slow. His abilities don't give as much of a buff as you would think in game terms. Now, it all sounds good when you're looking at the abilities and when you actually see the scaling, but against a good team comp or even just good players, unfortunately, sometimes it's just not enough. Not to mention, the only damaging ability he has is Thunk. So you really do need to have him get some more buffs to his other abilities because he doesn't deal damage, like, at all. He can move up and take a hit, so you want to build him all armor, but he still doesn't deal as much damage once it gets to level 3 in mid-game and beyond, because he still has about, like, 70 basic damage. And then, like I said, Thunk has good range, it does good ability damage, but it's its only damaging ability. I'm going to take a small break, guys. I'm going to get a cigarette here real quick. Support legalization, as always. Alright, and I'm back. Yeah, I got a bad habit with relationship with nicotine. So anyway, wait. Oh, that's right. More heroes. Now, like I said before, they have a few more melee heroes than they have ranged. Currently right now, it's about even, it looks like to me. And again, the character concepts are really cool. Like, I just like the ideas and the tips that they have. Or they support concepts. The buddy. And speaking of classics, let's go to Alien Storm. One of my other favorite characters to play. Well, two characters. One who rides so much rag, like they're really good at holding their own on TV. You can build them with tanky. Support yourself and area by yourself. The hat a Molotov for his basic attack. Awesome, right? Deals 53 basic damage, so a little bit weaker than some of the other characters, but it's full of fire on the ground where it lands and applies burn to enemies that touch it. The Molotov will also get any oil patches it hits. That's a big thing there because you need that for your ability oil spill. Now the cool thing about the Molotov that I think that they're going to be doing in the next patch to kind of when they're going to rework and rebalance some of the characters is I believe that they're going to make it so that his Molotov also applies the burn stack. Because when it's on the ground, it doesn't stay there that long, so it's really hard to actually get them with that. And it should apply to them when you hit them because you're smacking them in the face with a Molotov. I mean, you're gonna get burned. It also doesn't do a lot of additional damage, but it ignores ability armoring. You automatically take the burn damage. So it's great to stack it because then you can just have a tank that you're just playing with in your turret range and he can't get close to you. And if you happen to burn him a couple times, yeah, you're only whittling him down, but at the same time, you're still making progress. Oh, you getting food? Oh, okay. Alright, give me a moment here. I'm going to go over this. Sorry about that. That's my roommate, Toothless. He actually is going to be joining me here soon on the game. We play a little bit together. That's one thing I'll touch on when he actually joins in. For his next ability, Oil Slick. Now, Oil Slick is a great concept. Again, the characters and kit concepts that they've come up with are awesome. They've done a great job with this. The one problem is some of them just aren't executed well, but in open beta, everything's being tested. So you're going to constantly try new ideas, and some of them just aren't going to work. But this one, it's really cool because you not only gain max movement speed for a short amount of time, great escape maneuver, but it leaves behind oil trails that you can throw a Molotov on or use another ability that has a fire burst with it, like your flame turret, and cause that to set on fire. Now you could use this to run through minions, throw down a Molotov, and then set them on fire, causing more damage, or you can start backing up and escape, throw down the Molotov, the enemy that's chasing you to as well and applying burn stack. So it's a really good ability. The one thing though is that the animation's a little bit off. They do need to adjust that. The movements you aren't going to notice it until it's at max level. And even then, the only reason you notice it's at max level is because you have 4 seconds that you're leaving a trail and it goes up to the max move. So you're slightly skipping faster along. That's something that I believe needs to be adjusted maybe a little bit higher. Now the flame turret. The turrets are cool. I love the concept of turrets. That's why I've always liked the concept of Heimerdinger in League of Legends and other characters of that nature. It's just a great thing because it means that they can support themselves. You don't need to run them with another hero. You're able to take care of yourself and also shit out damage when you need to. And that's what these flame turrets are really for. Now, a lot of people use that to lock off places in the lane. The reason that I don't like it ability starting out, 150 ability damage. And like we talked about before, no matter what cards you get, powered increases both. So you can get your flame a decent amount of damage, but the problem is that it's over 10 seconds. So when they first start, they're not doing any damage really at all. To minions, they're doing about like 10 to 15 damage. They have a limited amount of fuel to as well. And the other thing that they try to balance it out with is once you level up, you're able to place more turrets. Again, kind of like Heimerdinger. Now, they have a good amount of health. Their range is really nice, but their targeting is really bad because they prioritize targets that you're damaging. And unfortunately with Iggy's, his range is the same, but it works differently. Halfway through his range, the Molotov will explode and turn into a shotgun effect. So you're mainly going to hit minions. That's the problem. Now, the flame turret does happen to go through enemies. Currently right now, though, it's a little bit bugged. They're fixing that, though, here soon in the new patch, because the turrets, flames, go through the minions and enemies and things like that, but they won't damage anything but the first thing hit, and they're supposed to. Now, if it worked fully like that, I would understand why the turrets are that way, because, yeah, if you're going to have a flame that goes through enemies and deals damage to everything that the fire is touching and engulfing, that makes sense why the damage isn't that high in over 10 seconds, because you have basically an adjustable AoE. You just aim the cone. Now, if they made the cone a little bit bigger too, I'm not going to complain about that. Oil Spill. This ability is probably one of your top abilities that you're going to have for Iggy damage-wise, besides the attack speed Molotov trick, which I suggest to do it once because it's hilarious. I don't suggest it any time after that because it's not effective. Now, going back to Oil Spill. Scorch spits out a blob that applies oil, which deals 80 ability damage, and applies burn when ignited by fire. Now, that 80 ability damage is not only when the blob is ignited, but it also does a little bit of damage when they're hit too as well, and they're going to be putting back the movement speed slow on it, I believe. Because that's what a big complaint was about Iggy, is that he didn't have the movement speed slow with the Oil Spill, and I completely understand. But when you look at the scaling of the damage, you really don't need it. That's the cool thing. So when you throw out the Oil Spill and you light it, it starts out at the 80 ability damage, but you usually build Iggy power and mana. So you're going to be dishing out a lot of damage with that thing as it is. Now his ult. This is another one of the bad ults I've been talking about. Flame Belch sounds really cool. It looks really cool. I love it because Iggy throws a Molotov into Scorch's mouth. He chews it up and starts spitting out flames, and deals at the beginning 325 ability damage for 2.5 seconds and applies burn. At the end, it does a belch that hits enemies in the cone and knocks them back. Now, again, it sounds really cool. The thing that I don't like about it, though, is it's really hard to aim. And that 325 ability damage over 2.5 seconds doesn't amount to shit, really, it seems, in the games. I've used this thing plenty of times on heroes, and it barely even touches them. The range is so short, it seems that I have to get right up in their face, and Iggy's not meant to do that. Iggy's meant to, again, be a ranged shotgun berserking kind of a character. He sieges on an area and slowly moves up, using turrets to deter them from coming in close to him, because sieging, while they also have to deal with the flame turrets, his oil spills, and his Molotovs going off all the time. And the flame belt should only be really used if you're chasing down an enemy, or if they're coming in too close to you, and then you can push them back. Now, I think what they should do is they should just have the flame belt just be, instead of over 2.5 seconds, just a flat, it does 325 ability damage, he burps, and it knocks them back. You can even lower down the ability damage a little bit if you want. The reason why I believe it should be that way is because then it's a more viable ult that can either go up, shotgun somebody or a couple things, and then just eliminate them. Or if someone's getting too close, he can shotgun them, dish out a good amount of damage, and push them back into turrets, oil spills, and Molotov fire all over again, making it impossible for them to really get in on him, because if they do, they're going to get pushed back into his kill box and then just melt it. And like I said, again, not all characters are like that. Some are really well designed and really well balanced. But overall, not all the characters are like that. In fact, most of them aren't like that, which makes the game a little bit rough to play sometimes, especially in solo queue, which is why I'm going to be playing with my buddy Toothless. Now, in solo queue, you can have fun. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun game. You're going to have fun irregardless, believe me. But you're not going to make what you feel is progression. You're not going to be getting better at the game because you're going to just get better at dealing with shitty players. That's why you should queue. A lot of people suggest queuing with 3 to 4 people. That is a very good idea because you have a full team now, or mostly a full team, and you have your communication. Me and my buddy, we just go with us two, and we still have a decent time, but we see our problems because we're not the majority. So with that being said, I would suggest getting to at least 3 to 4 people and try to make some friends on the game community. Always check the forums. You never know who you're going to find on there. Plus, we get PC players in on this too. You have a huge selection of players to play with. Just go out and get a party. It's just going to be better. Especially if you do plan on playing in the ranked and competitive scene when they fully release the game and that part of the game. Now, going into the cards. The card system was a great concept. Just not executed well the first time. To be expected, but let's go over some of the stuff here. Now, we have the universal cards. Anybody can use these. Everybody has at least 2 of these different colors here. White being order, blue being intellect, purple being corruption, red fury, green growth. Yeah, we know, Wizards of the Coast is going to be a little bit pissed. Whatever. Now, with your universal one, the first card you pick when you have your deck being built is your basic prime card. Now, the prime cards go off of what happens when you kill the prime or the dragon in Paragon, to make it simple. These, you're barely going to use because it doesn't happen often, but if you're new, that's to be expected. Picking the prime doesn't happen a lot, and a lot of times you really don't even need it because it's not that big of a buff. The only thing the prime gives you is it gives you a little bit more health, and it gives you your abilities that your card has. It doesn't give you anything else other than that. Are kind of important because, like I said, this is the only buff you're getting when that prime is activated. Now, a lot of people suggest, of course, is the Centurion. 500 health plus 100% damage bonus. And it gives your minions 500 max health too. Why the fuck not? Especially for people that are playing in mid lane or the off lane or siegers. Yeah, give your minions health. Just have them rush in there and just constantly fucking with people because they can't die. The other one is the Arc Magnet. 300% damage structures to minions. Structures to minions. That's not minions structures. Yes, it's stated like that. Don't watch. But that one just gives you more power, which is kind of dull because, like this one, it's minions, but it gives you 60 power as well. So you don't get mono one, which is really shitty because a lot of characters would also really like to have cast in 60 mana or something, or 500 mana. But it's hearsay. You have your cheat cards, you have stuff like Berry Potion. This gives you 4 ability armor. You naturally have some ability armor, shit like that. To regen, these are your upgrade cards. So some cards have these. There we go. They'll have full circles, and they'll have a fully upgraded bonus. That's what those upgrade cards go. You can only upgrade a card with what stats it naturally has, not including the upgraded bonus. So if you have a card that gives you an upgrade bonus of, let's say, 11 attack speed, but it doesn't have the attack speed stat naturally, you can't put attack speed on it. You can only put what it has above. So that is kind of limiting and forces you to have a kind of strategy when building these decks. Though there's not much strategy. Looking at the cards, and I'll show you what I was talking about earlier. Now you have like this. Hand of Promise. That's a 10 cost card, and it gives you 16 ability pen and 150 health. 10 cost card. Now, I can get 150 health and 16 ability pen along with another stat. before I need to spend 10 points for that card. In fact, it would cost me maybe like 6 or 7 altogether, sometimes 8. But I've never had to spend 10. And that's a really big flaw in the system here, because it's, well, that card's now useless. Nobody's ever going to really use that because there's no point to using it. Especially when you have cards like Bounty Stalker. This thing costs 4 less. It's a 6 cost, but your basic attacks on player grant stack up 3% crit chance for 3 seconds, and you can stack that up to 10 times. That's 30% for 3 seconds. So high attack speed characters love this card. Plus you get your 3 attacks and you get your 3 upgrades. I don't even get upgrades on this card, and it costs 10. So let's take a look here and see. Let's go to some 3 cost cards. Major Wound gives me 12% crit chance. Oh, that only takes 6. Okay, so that takes power and health. Ah, there we go. Major Cast. 18 for 3. 3. This upgrade gives me 18 power. Pop that onto there. Well, 1 down, 2 to go, and I'm already at 24 power. 24 power. Want to go to health? Check out health here. Now, some of these cards, you're not going to get a lot of copies of because they want to build them. They want it to be a thing that's kind of like runes. You got to save up. You got to work towards those good ones. Greater health. For 3 costs, 150 health. This one upgrade card gives me 150 health for 3 card points, compared to this one costs 10 and gives me 150 and 20 lifesteal. Well, I can put that 150 health on this and have 24 power. I can also do that with one that has lifesteal too as well. It's pointless for some of the more expensive cards. Now let's go to some of the 3 cost cards so I can show you even dumber stuff. Here we go. Staff of the Adamant. Now that card is a great card for a lot of players. Oh, so we'll just go to Fountain Spike. Fully upgraded gives you 6 power and 30 mana. So when it's fully upgraded, it gives you 12 mana, 6 mana, 12 power. Now I can go in and upgrade. Let's see, we can put all 3s on it. You know? We can put fucking. That's one thing they haven't added into, is a way to organize the cards. Other than by colors, it's going to be really useful when they added that into. So let's see here. Fountain Spike. So I can put on another 18 damage. And that just adds to that for 3. Then I can add on another 18 damage. I can pop on 2 upgrades to do all damage. Or I can make it really cheap and just add straight 90 mana by putting 3 of these cheap mana upgrade cards. Like 30 mana for 1 card point. So I can go up to 90 mana. Well, 90 mana, and then it would be, I gotta think, 120. So 150 mana for 6. And I get an additional 12 power on top of that. That's the problem that they're having right now, is that so many of these cards are just useless because why not just use these ones? And a lot of the times, what you're going to find funny is that the cards that are really good are the common ones. All of your ones that are uncommon or epic or rare on the list here really aren't that good in comparison to some of the other ones. And they have a good smattering of combinations of stats and abilities that a lot of the cards give you, but they don't give you everything, which makes a lot of characters hard to make because they can be kind of specific. So I'm really looking forward, like I said, to the new patch because it's going to show the new side of what they're bringing. They already showed us what they can bring in the mapping department because the monolith map is fucking awesome. I love the design, I love the aesthetics, I love the placement of the jungle camps, some of the camps we need to work on and stuff like that, but that's coming in the next patch with the reworks and balances. So we're going to expect that. What deck are you building? Ah, Gideon. Gideon's a fun character. Oh. Yeah, Gideon's a really fun mage. A lot of damage. Good, well-designed kit. Unfortunately, he's just a little bit too powerful in my opinion. Like, his kit's really well designed, but it's a little bit too powerful. Like, some of his abilities just do too much. Especially his ult. His ult is probably, yeah, it's probably one of the dumbest ults in the game, because he can teleport up into the air and pop his ult, and it'll pull you. It doesn't have, like, a range, really, when it comes to, what am I looking for? When it comes to elevation, because it has a set range, width, and radius. So that once you're outside the circle, you're not going to have to worry about it. But if you're inside the circle, or below the circle, most of the times, it doesn't fucking matter. He could be 300 feet in the air and probably still do something to you, because you're in a stupid circle. And the one thing you're also going to find that's really nice about playing Paragon right now, that you really should take into consideration, is all of the buffs and chests that they're giving people currently right now for helping with the beta. Me alone, I have 4 loot crates and no keys. Now, a lot of you thinking, well, why don't they give you the keys too? They do give you the keys. It's that you have a chance to proc certain things, and they give you more loot crates. What I'm saying, though, is I have 4 loot crates. Releases, I'll just pop them then when everything's fully done, and just imagine all the stuff I'm going to have. And I've only been playing for 18 hours. I don't even play that many matches. I'm getting more into it, of course, for this. They gave me 4 loot crates in 18 hours, 19 hours. Like, it's fucking awesome. Plus, as you can see at the bottom here, they show that they have bronze silver chests going to some diamond chests that are coming to you as well. I don't know if they're going to stick by that or what they're going to do with that, but just imagine what they're going to be giving away for the beta when those come out to you as well. And that's the one thing that I like about Epic's approach to this game currently right now, is that they are going a little bit ham when it comes to the beta. They're giving us loot, skins, all kinds of map updates, and just little aesthetical things like that, and just boosts so you always have plenty of reputation and levels and free victory coins too as well, so you don't have to spend money. So you might as well get advantage of that, because when the game fully does release and you have all that, you get to use all that on all the stuff that you helped bring to the game. Now, that being said, I also don't like the gung-ho-ness, because sometimes you don't need to release stuff like a carnival of hearts and Valentine skins for an event when your game is still an open beta and isn't fully polished. Because releasing content like that hints to players that you are fully polished and will bring in new players. That's for sure, but for the wrong reasons. They're going to get a game that they think is full game and has everything balanced and reworked. I know League has a lot of stuff that they still constantly update and rebalance, but they are a polished game. They have a system, they have a way that things work, and they are a polished, solid game. They can never update again. People would still play the game. Let's be honest here. This isn't fully polished. There's a lot of stuff that's unbalanced, stuff that needs reworked, redesigned, redone, whatever you want to say. So I think they should focus more of their time on that than actually releasing events and things like that. But they are still doing it smart. Because if you check the Paragon roadmap, I understand why they're doing it after I checked that. I still believe they should be doing it differently. They're doing it because not only are they bringing events to the players and new skins and content that's going to keep the players that have been in the open beta and helping them with this still going, but it's also going to mark when the patch updates come out. They figure, why release just the updates and the reworks and everything when we can add some more to the players who have been helping with the development. That's a great idea. You're giving back to a community that sometimes doesn't believe that they're fully helping with an open beta and development process of a game, but they really are. That's their little head nod of thanks, and that's a really cool thing for them to do, because not a lot of game companies do that. Now, as for the Carnival Hearts, honestly, I think they've come out with some better skins. I think they could have done a little bit better with their designing of them, because some of their alternative skins are really well done. And we see this in a lot of games too, I understand, with like League and things like that. But when you have heroes who have, you know, a skin that drastically changes them from looking like Gideon, for example. You have your, you know, your mage. Standard mage, right? Cool. But then you have this every That's really cool. It's a completely different character altogether. I mean, like, you can't even tell that it is Gideon other than his kit. That's a great skin. And even their Inquisitor one is pretty nice because it adds just a little bit of more detail. But in all honesty, that's all it is. Now when we go to other characters, Grux, perfect example. Grux you get a little more detailing on because now here's regular Grux, but now we get Gilded Scarab Grux. Again, another character that's completely differently designed, how it's completely different look, new weapons, that's a good skin. And then you get to his classic little rework skin. These are nice too, because it's just a different redesigned skin for the character that isn't too far off from the look. But then you'll get characters like, oh, where are they? Sevarog. He's a example. But then you get characters like Sevarog. The only thing that changes is the mantle. And currently right now they're working on a bug, but it doesn't show the mantle in the skin viewer. But that's the only thing that changes on him. I've skipped in game. The only thing that changes is the mantle. Despite the fact that he's one of the first characters that came out. And he has the Red Emperor. You have Red Emperor Sevarog, okay? Like, come on. But it is what it is. And again, like I've seen skins in League of Legends, like Dr. Mundo. They have one where he's literally just repainted green. But I love it. I still love it. But those kind of skins too, don't get me wrong, I do like those. But I want to see more skins like this. Doomsday Steel. Look at that. Sexy. Sexy. And then you get Aegis Steel. Granted, he's just recolored his skin, but still looks really good. I want to see a smattering like this. Steel is a good example of a good smattering. He has some skins that are just slight detailing, repurposed, nothing too major. But then you have a couple that are just, boom. Who is this guy, and why can I not have him? And then we have other characters like Faye. Another example of someone who kind of got the shaft on skins. She's just all recolors. That's all she is. And she's another character that's been out for a while, but all she has are just recolors. And it's really sad because, I'm sorry, but Tinkerbell, anyone? We should have at least had a call out to that by now, or something of the sort. And then you get characters like Twin Blast. Twin Blast is actually a newer character. He doesn't have as many skins, and he has some recoloring. But he, again, a newer character than Faye, already gets a different looking skin. I don't know why they choose to do it this way or how they go about that, but they kind of need to make it more consistent. Yeah, Chimera. No, actually he's one of the oldest characters, because he has a lot of skins that are repurposed, but he also has just different health, which granted may make him look the same. But then you get to this one, and it's like, oh, it's a completely different freaking character. All in all, though, I would say that Paragon is good, and you should play it. Or at the very least, give it a shot, because you may fall in love with it. Hello! Oh, I gotta send you the invite. Oh, did you need to place the order for Chinese, by the way, now? Gotcha. I don't even know what I want. But what else is new? What I want. And again, before we get into the next, support legalization. Ooh. I don't really like buffet seafood. I kind of want that fucking spicy double cooked pork again, but it just wasn't good. And the roast pork and garlic sauce tasted just like their chicken teriyaki, which that still weirds me out. Still weirds me out. If I wasn't already clicking square. You can call me a dick. I understand completely. Right, yeah, that could be really funny. I've had that happen a couple times. Had that happen with Baron actually on League. I got in the queue, he got in the queue. Turns out we were in the same queue. Still ended up on the same team. Oh, sweet. Pepper steak. I'm gonna go with Grim. You want to show them the Grim Grux combo? Okay, we're gonna show you guys our favorite combo, Grim Grux left. Now the reason Grim Grux left is so funny is because Grux pulls you in. Oh, you picked before him. Yep, somebody left the queue. But the reason Grux works so well is because Grux has the ability to pull in, he has the ability to keep enemies near him, and also he's really beefy. He gets a lot of good just natural armor and ability armor from leveling up. The reason it works so well is because with my slow on him, first level we can go in there and I can have my slow and pull. We can pull in one of the enemy players and just start shredding them right off the bat.
One of the first abilities that I grabbed is Flashfire Piston, because one of the dual wielding characters uses hammers, which are actually kind of slow. Chimera's got a
faster right.
Rate, and Chimera gets
max out for his attack speed, which I was going over that earlier. That's probably one of his best features in all honesty, because it allows you to take crit and make the most effectiveness out of it.
Yeah. And with Flashfire Piston, I essentially do the same thing all the time. With Chimera, I took it specifically for if I can't use juggling, because I still need that when I'm doing.
Right. The other really cool thing too about you just got a square bud. The other really cool thing about the Grim Grux combo is the displacement that Grim has. Because again, you first pull in the enemy with Grux, and then if you're Grim, you go in with your slow on and you start slowing them down so Grux can continue to pound them. If they happen to get away, or if they're like a Chimera or something and they haven't escaped, you can launch your displacement further ahead of them. They'll run into it, get pushed back into you and Grux, and then you repeat the process. And at level 1 to level 3, this is scary effective because a lot of people don't have the abilities or the cards that they need to survive and get away from that. So it's a really scary combo. And it's why you can take it left or right. The reason we take it left is because left is considered the safe lane in this game. So that's where the one big tank on your team is actually going to be taking on 2 people, the support and the carry on the other team. By throwing this mix into the group, we go left instead. Now it's more like playing League. You have support and carry versus support and carry. But on our side, it's support and tank. And it's a synergy that works really well. Highly suggest trying it out.
So we're going to have a fight over who presses square button first.
Yeah, this is another thing that happens.
Kid's going to get it first.
A lot of characters are played just more often than others. You're never going to see a game with Narbosh except for maybe once or twice in your career here. If you play longer, obviously you may see them more.
If you ever showing up and you walk through Narbosh, I'll play the fuck out of Narbosh.
Yeah, you won't see him that often. Iggy and Scorch is another one you won't see that often. Crunch, you don't see too much of either. You're pretty much going to be seeing a lot of same characters. Like this guy, he did take Iggy and Scorch, which I'm happy for, because it shows that a lot of players are willing to at least try him out. The unfortunate part, he's going to get his ass beat. It's what happens, unfortunately, with Iggy. Yeah, you don't see a lot of Rampage and Richter. I see more Rampage than Richter because Rampage is a really good jungler if you know what you're doing. Because he heals massively while he's in the jungle. He heals while he's outside of the jungle too as well with his passive. He has a leap, doesn't he?
Yep, he has a lead.
He has the stun with the boulder. And then he also has his ult, which makes him really stupid huge. It's fucking hilarious. I love that. Circlet of health first. The reason why is because it stacks that health against you, which for him and for Grux is incredibly useful for the game. Now, like I said, most of the time it would start with the shield with Grim, but since I have a Grux on my side, I'm going to use the slow. The reason why is because that's what's going to get us the first couple kills. Guaranteed. Alert, help, big. Alert, help, right. Alert, help, right. See, and this is the problem. These guys are idiots. So they're wanting to come left lane with us because they want to try to Shrek these guys coming up first. Problem is, like all MOBAs, you're giving up objective time to do stupid shit like this, and then they gain ground in another area. So you are getting ground on one spot, but you're losing it in another.
And all honesty, or Sarah, are really good junglers to get around with because Aurora has a lot of free tech to die. The mid lane, the free tech, that's almost
Right. And Aurora especially is a great jungler too as well. A lot of people like to take her at the mid lane, but Sarah is more inclined to the mid lane because of her ability. Aurora's a good jungler. She's good at stopping opponents and then dishing out the damage with her sword. Sarah can just blow up somebody with her sword. She's done more. Now, I've seen this happen a couple times where forces do run a lane really close to get up like this, and you have right there, Chimera, might come in on. Now, he won't come in on because four of us. But we're losing our movement right there. We're not going to help because Green's a little bit harder. The aiming is a little bit off in this. You have to lead your shot incredibly well. Like, you have to go off like that. It's kind of sad. It's a little bit too specific with some of the characters. Now, we got, as you see, my buddy Peter just got taken out. The reason why is because we had 4 people in a lane, and they sent Sparrow to help, and the other players were just playing quickly. Don't do this. I know this is supposed to be about Paragon the game itself, but I just wanted to throw that in there for anybody who's watching because they're also a mobile player. Don't do this. Even in Paragon, now, as you can see, I took a decent amount of punishment and I'm still able to get away. Because of that slow, it slows them, allows me to get out of their range, and really actually has a good amount of health. You don't really have to worry too much about Grim, but you do have to be yourself. Always keep yourself at the highest amount of damage. Setup deck, but it is still pretty decent. The reason why I need to redo it is because I honestly don't use as much mana as I need to.
Allied tower is
try to push
under
out more
attack.
damage and attack speed. The reason why is because then I can layer on the stacks of movement slow with his slow ability. Back up just a little bit, bud. Because I'll be coming around, and if they chase you, then I'll get them. Alright, now they've actually started to spread out a little bit, and they're at least in the jungle, Now, we've lost a lot of our game advantage, simply because they're not doing stuff in the middle or in the jungle, and they're not being effective with taking our kills from the minions. So they're effective at making sure that no one gets a good amount of targets. Don't do this. If you want arguing with this, it's easier to try to outlast it. Just last it before they can, take the card points, and eventually they're gonna leave. Now this Chimera, we can just sit here and let our minions do the work. If he comes out on us, we'll shred him. See that Aurora? Don't do what she does. You wait for us. Because if they come out, then it becomes a problem. Now we're playing. Oh shit. And I back up. And again, they couldn't, now granted they did take my Grux, but they didn't take me and were pushed up hard on their lane. That's normally how this is going to go if you're not having the best match. That's still okay though, because again, I'm still alive and at my tower, able to defend it, and I just gotta wait for it. Now, one thing you are going to notice in the matches is the incredible amount of sequence time working with that. It is just constant. Sometimes I'm too late, but you have to win, depending on how much you play or how much you play. And now we have now pick up the great she's a lot like but without a skill. She instead does a lot of like a mix of action. But the one problem she has is speed is really weak. I apply a movement speed because we're two real skills. Back up to 100. See, now the reason they're shredding us is not because they have two people against our two people. The reason why is because, again, the card point advantage that was lost from those two players at the beginning of the game. Yeah, it's gonna be hard, bro. But we'll get there. And our fight link. Yeah, go ahead, man. There we go. Whoa! Just slow! No! You're not going anywhere, bitch! Ah! Alright, I'm gonna let you take care of those two, and I'm gonna start going back to the left side. Now, like I said before, one of my favorite things about this game is how aesthetically well designed it is. I love the design of the map itself. Everything is really well designed, really well textured. I don't know, I really like what they did graphic-wise for the game. It really adds to it and makes it stand out from the other MOBAs. Like I said before, personally, I think a lot of the MOBAs look a little bit cartoony. Even for Paragon, which is why it stood out for a certain point. Like just looking at Jeff Simone with his Rhino skin texture is really a great job. Now, the animation speed, you're going to notice a little low for your that's, again, it's because it's an open beta. They haven't dialed in on the right amount of stuff that they need for each thing. I don't even know what you would call it. Oh, look, this is terrible. Yeah, that's a good place. Like I said, it's got a lot, but it's a really slow, lazy part. So you gotta kind of finish it just. It looks like a short-range move tube. So just kind of play a little bit of Call of Duty and you'll eventually figure it out. Oh, look! And of course, just like in another game, you can see their cards and your cards. Now you notice some players play where they only get 2 cards and start upgrading right away. You notice some players just start stacking up card quick. Now see how she has her fully upgraded? It's not just because she's a 2 card, which is great for your first one. It's because, again, that card point advantage. I can't stress that enough, that if you throw caution to the wind with your objectives, you're going to experience problems like this. Now we have characters that are way more powerful than they should be at that point in time and level, simply because 2 people took away the card points we should have gotten to keep it even. And then kept themselves even in their own way. Never use your AoE unless it's going to one back. Don't use it unless it's going to at the very least stop the wave of minions. Otherwise, you wasted mana and time. Because it is a very high mana costing ability, so you don't get to use it often.
Allied tower is under attack.
Really have to. Because he's been left alone, he's got effectiveness, but with Iggy, really shitty because, well, he'll have turret everywhere. Oh, shit, yep, you're not what I want to do. Ah, here we go. DTFO. Lock on, fire, boom, ball hits him. That's probably just watch a little ball that go out and smack him. Play safe on left and every and as you're probably getting to as well, like I said before, this is phase 2 league, back to the game, even coming back to the sign up. Defense is going to be exactly like lane. The design of the jungles on the inside are almost exactly the same as well. So it's probably going to feel a little bit more familiar than it is strange. But you will notice the differences once you actually start getting into the grid. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to go to right lane. No, it really doesn't matter. This Aurora completely fucked up. He's walking around so he doesn't look at his mind, and as soon as he does, that turret's going to start doing. So always chase the people around the tower and try to push them away from it, or at least get them to hit you. Even if you're at low health, because then and he's really great on their towers, because if they do come down on the tower, you can blow them and make them take more. I did that. Booyah! Yeah, like I said, as you see, he doesn't do anything to them if I hit them while the turret's up. Unlike a lot of MOBAs, with the player base is playing right now, a lot of them are still arguing that this isn't a MOBA and that they can play the way that they want to. Well, unfortunately, you're wrong. This is a MOBA. It's exactly what it is. And look at the map. It's exactly like it will. The objectives are the exact same. Your team's base is the core. Nothing is different. It is a MOBA. With that being said, pay attention to your team. I don't know how many times I have to tell you how easy it is to win a game, even if you're time and build and you have all the deaths on your team. If you're completing your objectives, you're still going to win.
An allied tower is under attack.
So, it is a MOBA, it's an objective-based.
Allied tower.
Fortunately, it doesn't matter anything else that's said, it's objective-based MOBA game. So there is a certain way you have to play to be objective and have a good team color. Now, you don't always have to run generic or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But you do still have to play by the general basis of the game, which is complete the objectives before you get don't have a lot of health. They don't count as a wolf, so they take a little bit. So that's the one nice thing. That's what you have to rapid fire there. You can go up with twin blast, double tap, and all of a sudden and especially with most it's really hard to place multiple turrets at once. So once there's a turret down and you take it out right away, you instantly just negate everything that you do. And you'll just put down another turret. And the turrets don't have the same range as other ones. And now that turret got that. I don't know why I saved this tower in all honesty, this game's over, but I did. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't vote these. And again, use these because this lets the devs know if it's a game bug or if it's an aspect of the game that made the match go south for you, or the reason why you wanted to surrender, or if it was just player input or player basis that made it shitty.
I got the only player killed on our team.
Right. The one we got. That's it. But yeah, always fill those out because that helps them know, okay, this is a problem because of this. Instead of, well, this is a problem, but we don't know if it's because the player was just using the character poorly or if it's an actual glitch or a bug. So again, fill those out. Help your devs make you a good game. Very important. All right. Now, I'm going to redo Grimm's deck real quick, and we can get a good look at the deck building system. I don't even know, yeah, I mean, we can go over it, but again, they're going to be doing it here soon, so there's really no point. But just in case you get it, somebody decide to get it today. Right, see that. Yeah, that's a great point, actually. What me and Toothless have noticed here that I'll be showing you is that a lot of the cards have same effects for the same cost, but they're different colors, and it's like, well, what is the purpose of those cards? And me and him came up with a theory. Going over how I'm going to build this Grimm deck here in case any of you decide to just hop on and try it out real quick, because it is, like I said, Grimm Crux is a fun combo. Grimm Chimera is also a really fun combo too, but Crux is the best. We're actually going to go with the 500 health to minions. The reason why is because this is a very CG type of build. You go in, fuck with them, and either get them to run away, or you kill them, and then you just let your minions take care of business. You don't go inside the tower to try to take it down further. The reason why is because you just wait for them to come to you. And then Grux and Grimm do what they do best. They pull them in, they slow them down, and they beat the fuck out of them. So that's why I'm going to do that one, because I want my minions to help us out more. It really doesn't matter though, because a lot of times you don't get the prime. Most people never get the prime. We can do that too as well. Now, going into what we're going to do for building Grimm, you don't need a lot of damage. That's what your other buddy is going to be for, whether it's Crux, whether it's Chimera, or it's Sevarog, or even Greystone. Whoever your other buddy is, they're the one that's going to be dishing out the damage. So they go damage and armor, or they just go straight damage and like attack speed or crit if you're playing like Chimera, because then you just go in and you shred and melt them before they can touch you. Greystone and Grux, I suggest building a little bit of armor just because it can get a little bit tougher. Anyway, moving on to the important stuff. Now, I personally thought about starting out with Adamant Age because it gives you health. Playing with Grimm for a little bit, you don't need it. Bloodsucked Armor is a good one to have in the deck just as a just in case, because it gives you attack speed, which will help with your slowing ability. Basic armor too, but the active is what's really sexy, because it's when you're hit, you cause a bleed stack to apply to the attacker, which is separate from, say, Grux's bleed stack. So you can put on more bleed stacks onto your opponents just by walking in and taking a hit. Super fucking effective. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to go for a Brawler's Ward. Now, again, place the ward, save a life, folks. Like, you cannot stress this enough. Place a ward, save a goddamn life. Too many people have been lost because of this. So we're going to put one Brawler's Ward in there. And we're just going to start off with mana. Lots of mana. It already gives me 30 mana, and when I upgrade it, it gives me 6 power. So it's kind of like the Fountain Spike. I'm going to have 12 power, and I'm going to have at least 120 mana. And it's super easy to build, because most of the time I don't go back unless I have 3 card points. But this way, even if I'm forced to go back, or if I get killed early and I only have a card point, I can still pick up something that gives me instant benefit right off the bat. And I have a ward. Whoop! So we're going to put in 3 basic manas, give us that 90 mana right off there. And that's going to be the first card. And the first card that we build will be Brawler's Ward. You need that ward right off the bat, because you never know who's going to come through the jungle in this game. Currently right now, with so many people thinking it's not a MOBA or just noobs and things like that, somebody random's going to show up in your lane, whether it's by accident or not. It's going to happen. Seen too many times. As for the next card we're going to build, a lot of people will suggest building the Amp Crystal. The reason why is because you can just stack power onto it really cheap, and it gives you 90 mana. That's exactly what we're looking for, especially in Grim. You want to build your mana up early, because that slow stack really starts building up the mana requirement per shot. I think it's up to 30 once it's fully upgraded. So you definitely want to build that up as quickly as possible. Now, I don't have any more one-cost basic mana cards. This is where their whole card system really starts to come to play. It forces you to dismantle cards, build new cards, buy packs and things like that, so you can be able to put on 3 of those 1 costs or 3 of those 2 costs. But I'm not going for mana for this one. This one already gives me 90 mana. I'm going to start working on my damage now. A lot of times, you wouldn't think that building damage would be good, especially with Grim, but in this case, it's going to help out a lot, because the slow's not just there to slow them down. It's also to help your buddy, Evrog, Grux, or whoever you decide to do with this combo, to deal out, to get that extra damage to help them take that character out as quickly as possible, and just every little bit counts. Plus, it also gives you the advantage where, say, you're going up against some squishy guys. Well, now I'm going to take my Amp Crystal first and get my power first before I get my mana, because I don't need it. I still suggest going the ward first, though, because, well, I don't need to repeat that. Now, the other thing about this is we all know that League learned their lesson about not being able to stack items that have unique passes and unique actives. They haven't done this with some things. So you can put in like 3 Amp Crystals and nobody's going to say anything. So guess what we're going to do? Yeah, we're going to put in another fucking Amp Crystal. It gives me 90 mana when it's fully upgraded, and I'm going to put on, that's right, 3 2-cost casts to give me 12. Now, I like doing the laddered system when it comes to upgrading cards, because it allows you to keep a good pace, get what you need when you need it. You're not going to outshine people in any way, shape, or form, but you're going to stay balanced and healthy. And as long as you play smart, that's what's going to win you the most consistently. So I always start off with 2 things that I would build first, all with once. Those are going to be the things that mainly drive you, like mana, damage, life steal, crit, whatever it may be for that character that you're deciding to build. Now, another good one that people suggest for any character is stuff like Aimlet the Veteran. You get 100 health, gives you 50 health and 6 power right off the bat. For tank characters, this thing's a fucking godsend because it's a great 3 cost. When you look at the other colors, which we'll go into here soon, you're going to see that it's really not that good. Now, going into those, let's go to a blue card. Let's go to the bottom. There we go. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier. Now, I obviously have a 3-cost Focus Pierce. That's an Intellect Pierce that gives me 12 basic pen. This is a Corruption Dagger Pierce, which also gives me 12 basic head. Now, what we think that they were planning on doing is, the reason they have those same cards, even though everything has a version of it, and it all gives you the same stats, is that if you combine, say, the Focus Pierce with the Fracturing Spike, instead of giving you just the 12 basic manas, since it's an intellect with an intellect, you now will get an additional, like, say, 2. So it's 14 basic 10 for your Focus Pierce instead, because it's on your intellect card. But that's not the case. So we honestly don't know. Huh? Oh, veggie fried rice? Oh, sweet. Hold on. I'm going to be putting an order in for Chinese. We'll be right back.
I know this is Italian. I know this is.
I was about to say, like,
This is Italian. I know this is Italian.
It's part of the Axis. You're correct about that. It is the Axis.
Again, still Italian.
That's a Russian.
That's who I am. In English. You'll notice.
I was thinking, this sounds like Arabic. Or maybe like,
It's either, I'm pretty sure it's either Latin or Italian. At least Italian.
between Russian and Albanian. Most of it is Russian though, because he talks about having putting more voices in his mama's vodka. Yeah, mama bushka vodka parecida notka. Yeah, that's
and I know
that's
the other
Russian.
guy. I know the other guy is 100% Russian.
Yeah.
Are you getting pepper stick to get us there?
I have to slow it down to get like everything.
Same person that does that
Yeah, it's a mix between Russian and Albanian, but he's speaking mainly Russian. But I actually know that area. Euro trip. When you're from the same country, well, they're in the same country.
Pepper stick again. That's the big pepper one.
Yeah, it's so good to cook out.
This is the other song that they do bread that I found today. He speaks English. Habibi.
Put on these really pepper sauce. Summer pepper.
Yeah.
still love fucking Arabic death metal bands.
This is most of the I watch them.
Right. They are literally like the most brutal band ever because they will die at any time. Metal bands I would consider more brutal are no reason. Because you have to burn down churches to get to those bands. Like, oh. I've always wanted to go to church. They don't actually burn down the church, but they built the fucking steeple and everything and burn it down during the show. It's like the metal version of fucking Burning Man. Which sounds fucking awesome. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Metalocalypse should have done a Burning Man episode. Or did they? I can't remember. Did they do a Burning Man episode?
I don't remember them burning anything. But then again, I remember them actually burning a lot of things. I mean, not that bad.
Right, right. Oh. Did you see the guy got banned from the Jump Up Court?
Overwatch that one?
No, Extra Court.
Original or smaller or large? Oh, well, it looks like notice for delivery. One Singapore Maypoon, no vegetables, extra spicy please. One pepper
So he
steak,
got this one by
with pork fried rice.
You know what's funny?
Yep, pork fried rice, and like I said, extra steak and
Yeah, so many players don't
no vegetables. Large vegetable fried rice, pork and corn, no vegetable, extra spicy, large pepper steak with fried rice, extra steak, extra onions. Something like that? Pork medium style, please, with pork fried rice.
You get
And then all of these are the pork. Oh,
right. Right. Right, exactly. Right, exactly. My mom has never been paid less than a man. Not once in her life. Right. Shit, my dad worked in a position where a woman got paid more than him at the same position. The woman got paid more than him. Like, my father experienced a wage gap, and that was simply because she knew the people who owned the business. The only reason. It's not even because it was a male-female thing. It's because, no, that's like a long-term family friend of theirs, and they were helping them out. Like, my dad wasn't even pissed about it.
4, 5.
Sorry about that, folks. I don't mean to bring politics into here, but we were just having a discussion about the wage gap. Send out the shot. Now, going back into this, the basic pen and everything getting upgraded for adding the same color to the same kind of card would be a great idea. I wish they actually would have been implemented that earlier. Going back into how we're going to be building Grim here. Now, I have my mana pretty well set up because these 3 cards alone are going to make sure that my mana gets up quickly and fast and be maintainable for a while. Now, some people say a Magna Lens would be good too because it gives you mana regen and helps with your mana, and it gives you power, but you don't need ability pen because Grim's main ability that you're using, the slow, isn't actually an ability damage. It's your basic damage, you're just adding a slow to it. So it actually is an effect. Exactly, you want basic pen. That's what we're looking for here. Now, there's lots of ways we can go about this. One way other people have suggested is going with the Rift Magaspheres and things like that and building crit chance on him. That's not really my thing either. What I'm going to be looking for here is power and a pen ability. Now, you're usually going to find that in corruption more than you are on intellect, but there is a good smattering of abilities. Now, about that, here's a great one, Scourging Tails. It only gives you 6 power and doesn't have a fully upgrade bonus. What I like about it though, for 15 seconds, your next ability hit on an enemy hero, which does count as your slow with Grim, shreds their basic armor by 20 for 6 seconds. This card makes the Grim Grux combo really come together late game, because now you're taking away the basic armor they built up for an entire 6 seconds. And you have 15 seconds to land the ability, which by the time you pop it, you're already in their face with your slow, making sure that it lands. It's just too good not to pass up on. But we're going to be coming back to that because we may find something better. Because again, this is kind of a late game card you want to build because it only gives you 6 power. What we're looking for is basic pen. The reason why is because Grim doesn't deal out a lot of damage as it is. And you can do stuff like Staff of the Adamant, build more mana with the card, and then just get the free power upgrade. But that's just not going to cut it here with this combo. Other things I've seen people do is the ability, armor, and health, because you do deal with a lot of characters that shit out good ability damage. That's really not my thing either. You can do... You can do Thirst Fang too and get Lifesteal with Grim, which isn't a bad idea. Lifesteal actually really helps him. The thing is with Lifesteal, if you're building Lifesteal, you build a Lifesteal deck. Plain and simple. If I was doing mana and Lifesteal, that's how I would go with it, and I would just be, you know, Forever Hero. But I'm not going Forever Hero, now am I? Now we have this one, the Marrow Fangs, that give you a unique passive too, and it's for when you're bleeding. A lot of characters actually can get a stack of bleeding. This one steals 21 basic armor in first 6 seconds. Now the best part about this, again, with the Grim Grux combo, is that if you move in, you take the hit. You now stole 21 basic armor from them, and if you have Scourging Tails, you're shredding the other 20. They literally will go down to maybe 4 basic armor, if any armor at all. The only thing that sucks is that you're getting 2.5 lifesteal that's going to kind of be wasted. The reason why it's going to be wasted is because you're going to be building your basic pen. That's the whole reason you took the card. And because of Shred, that only acts when you're bleeding. So it only works with a few characters. So we're going to move past this one. Another great one is the Wind Carver Blade for a lot of characters because power attack speed. Why not? Spring Staff, if you want some extra mana and mana regen, still not what we're looking for though. Now here's the shit part. we've gone through all of these and I haven't found what I'm looking for, so I have to go to 4 cost and 5 cost cards. And I'm probably not even going to find it in here, just because there's certain combinations that haven't been implemented in cards yet. Like, there's great ones like this, attack speed and mana regen, grants plus 22 attack speed to nearby allies for 5 seconds. So I'm not going to use it. This one, melee basic attacks, gain an additional 50% damage to cleave. Oh no. Instantly deal basic attack damage as basic damage to nearby enemy units. So yeah, anybody in an area. That's also pretty good. But again, not what I'm looking for, and too expensive. So let's modify. Now, another good one that you can look at too as well is stuff that's like the siphons and things like that. Because yeah, the passive gives you the bonuses to jungle minions. In this game though, a lot of times your jungle guy may be missing. And on top of that, there's those card point jungle camps. Those card point jungle camps give card points to everyone on the team evenly. For every card point, it goes to everyone. So taking some of these sometimes is a great idea, because yeah, you're getting 8% crit chance, it isn't really going to help, and you're probably just going to put power on it depending on your character. But if you do go into the jungle, which you are, you're going to travel through the jungle, it's part of the game. If you can stop by one of those camps and pick up some card points for your friends while your jungler's busy, fucking do it. It helps out immensely. Well, since I can't find the basic pen that I'm looking for, we're going to go with the Adamant Edge to get my power and the health so I can be beefier. Now, I'm going to build the full 3 health. A lot of times you would want to build the power, especially with Grim, but honestly, 300 health is going to help me out a lot, and I'm already getting 18 power from this card once it's fully upgraded. So that's the way that I'm going to go with that one. As for everything else, I think the only thing I'm going to take is the Fraction Spikes. The reason why, again, is because it's the only thing that gives me basic 10. Yeah, it gives me the mana regen, which is completely fucking useless to me as the way I'm going to build it. But it does give me 12 power, and it gives me the basic 10 that I need for a cheap cost. Now, when building your pen, a lot of people suggest going to 2, because you don't need a lot of pen, because a lot of people don't build pen. You just need enough to get through their natural armor and things that they have. Unfortunately, I only have 1, so I'm forced to go with my 3 cost. I'm not too worried about that though, because Fraction Spike, I'm probably going to take a little bit later on when they actually have their armor and everything, and they've got a little bit more beef to them. So I can mitigate that at that point in time and not waste time buying it early when it's not going to be getting the most use. And you have 6 slots that go onto your, we'll say it's your card field. 4 for active slots, those are of course your control pad, and then 2 passives. Now, having actives is really nice and essential for some characters. Other times, it's not essential and you can mitigate it out of there. Now, since I've already gone with building my my pen idea, and I have that taken care of, I also have this, which is giving me my health. Now I can go on and build basic armor and get attack speed, which again really helps a lot with the slowdown ability for Grim, but it only gives you that that 7 basic armor, and you really kind of have to decide if you want to go basic armor or attack speed, because honestly, trying to divide both of them isn't going to give you as much effectiveness, and it's kind of take away from everything. I suggest going basic armor because you're already building the health. And then you also have your active, so you can go in there, take the basic hit, apply the bleed, and then move back and continue what you're doing. And that 5.5 attack speed does add just a little bit here. So we're going to go ahead and add the blood-soaked armor. This one, I actually have the ability to put in cheap guard abilities, because I don't need a lot of these. I just need enough, because pen is something a lot of people don't build a lot of times, which they should. You really should. Because in this game, you naturally build a good amount of armor and ability armor by the time you're level 6 or so. So you really do want to kind of like add on to that. So I'm going to build up the guard here and take away from that. Now, I don't have anything that builds ability armor really well, which is sad, because ability armor actually comes in a lot of handy, especially against, you know, those really shitty characters like Gadget, Gideon, and things like that. They can actually, you know, shred somebody pretty quickly. So, to take care of that here, let's see here, where is it? We have cards that are going to help me with my cooldown time. The reason I'm taking stuff for cooldown time is if I need it, say I'm going up against a Gadget or a Gideon or something like that for the main enemy that is in my lane, I would take Chrono Spike or Chronomancer Disc, depending on which one you want. I suggest the Spike because it's used mana instead of mana regen. You need more just hard mana. But that 10% cooldown reduction is going to help you get back to your barrier, which helps block those abilities by Gadget and Gideon and things like that. So you won't need ability armor because Grim already has the answer. You just need to make sure that that answer is always right there when you need it. So we're going to go ahead and do this one. A pretty cheap one because it's an alternative card. It's not something that's in my main build, but if I need it, it's there and it's ready to go when I need it. As for what we should put on it, since we want it to be a little bit cheaper and we want it to still be a good early utilitarian card, we're probably going to either go power or mana, obviously. I'm going to decide to go with mana. Because if I'm reducing my cooldown, I'm going to be shitting out more spells. Might as well jack up the mana, right? And honestly, that's it. You don't need anything else for a deck. You only need about 29 cards. If you want to build up to the full 40 so you have a full smattering of things like some rewards or some other cheap cards that you can discard and just pick up real quick so you can fill up your deck field and get a little bit of an extra advantage, by all means, go ahead. It's a great idea. I'm going to start by adding on Bounty Stalker for my last card, giving Grim a little bit few more options because he is more of a what's the word I'm looking for here, bud? Adaptable. There we go. He's a more adaptable character. He's able to be turned into many different things. He can be tanky, he can be really heavy damage and carry-like, or you can have him be a really great support. So I'm going to add on the Bounty Stalker as another alternative card because of that crit chance. It gives me the health, and it gives me power. Now, I'm probably going to go 3 of the health ones with this one too, because I have the crit chance. I don't need the power. I just don't, because again, Grim's ability here is his slow with this comp. This isn't for just a single Grim type where you're just going by yourself. This is meaning that you have someone with you. So I'm going to build health. And I'm forced to build a greater health, which is not really that big of a thing. Actually, alternatively, what I'm going to do instead is Minor Cast. I'll give myself a good even amount of health, and then I'll just add the Minor Cast to bring that up to 12. That'll be good. And then I still have that amazing unique passive for 6. Bounty Stalker is probably one of the best universal cards you're going to get. If you have to build it early, it's worth it. Especially on carries in general. Junglers also get an extreme amount of use of this card because they can just run up on somebody out of the lane, and if they already have a little bit of crit chance on them, they're just adding to that crit chance and their potential to shit out a lot more damage. And yeah, it gives you a nice little graph too, so you know exactly like what your balance build is. I have to add a little bit more detail to it because some cards can be considered damage cards, but they're actually utilitarian cards. But it also gives you a breakdown of your colors and things like that too as well. It's pretty good. Alright folks, I'm going to take another break from my bad habit here real quick. I'll be right back with Toothless and get on with another game. When you're not using it, so you don't have to rely on Unleash all the time because you just naturally have a higher attack speed without the mitigation of your damage.
Right.
But which is really nice because you boost your attack speed, so it's like, oh, my attack speed is fucking stupid high. More shit out, more stuff.
Right. And the thing that I really like with my Sevrog is the fact that he does so much damage that I can do an even kind of spread.
Right.
Because all I have to really focus on with him is I have my lifesteal because I do so much damage. Lifesteal is worth it because I'm hitting things for 100 damage and I'm doing 12 health back.
Right, exactly.
So if I'm hitting a lot of fucking things, I'm gonna have to stay on my mana because his abilities do stupid amount of damage. The thing that's nice is my Siphon is 25 mana.
Right. Stupid cheap.
But it seems like it's something he ramps up with.
And that's the other thing they don't have. They don't have mana skills. They have all lights on it. They don't have mana skills. No.
Right, you do that, I don't like it. Okay, pause the video for 1 second with the make your plan. So I'm done with 4.5 seconds. Again, please 25 seconds.
Well, the reason why that is because they want him to be the guy that can just rush out, stun, all right, he's bleeding, and everyone else who's chasing him down, they're the ones who take care of it. Everyone else who's chasing him down to stop them is the reason that you were able to keep that for so long, because you're keeping them all from your chasers. Oh. But that's the same thing for, like, a lot of their cooldowns start out at around the same, but unfortunately don't scale the same. Yeah. Yeah, Sevrog's got one of the best cooldowns in the game. Right, that's meant to be a kill spell, not a get the fuck out of here spell. Dude, don't like you. Now, the other thing too, before we get into this next match that I want to bring up about the cards, you will notice this. So, we have 2 1 costs for order, and everything goes from 3 and then up. Intellect, we have 1 1 cost card, and then everything goes from 3 and then up, and then they have all this stuff. Corruption. Oh, sorry, gotta get rid of the other ones before they pop up. Gets 2 1 cards, 3 and then up. Fury is the only one, I believe, that has 2 cost cards right off the bat. And these cards are dumb. Madstone Gem, 12 power for 2 cost. That's better than any other 3 cost. Plus, when it's fully upgraded, you get 5.5 attack speed. You put 2 of these in your deck, which is single cost attack upgrade cards, you're shitting out damage stupid early, faster than anybody else in the game. They also have Hate Spitter, Flashfire Piston, Rage Heart Engine, Red Eye Nitro, and then it finally goes to 3. This is one part of the game that I think is the reason they're scrapping their whole idea and then coming up with something new, is because Fury is the only one with 2 cost cards, and that's mainly what people are playing, is somebody who has Fury on them. And it's simply because of that. Simply because, well, I can shit out more damage and fuck them up a lot quicker, easier. Now, granted, every color has great cards and great utilitarian uses for their cards and things like that. But it's just plain fact that Fury sees more play because they have a quicker way to play that allows you to get more damage, which unfortunately currently right now means a better chance of winning the game because you just outkill everybody. Once everyone's down, you just rely on the respawn times and then just start shredding everything because they're all dead. So I really hope they pay attention to that major aspect, is that all the colors are completely imbalanced in each other. Some cards are just like other cards, and there are some cards that are so cheap and amazing that you would never even use other cards ever because it's just stupid. You're just not getting as much worth out of the cards. So yeah, I really hope they fix that part because that is what makes the system bad. Like I said, the queue times honestly aren't as bad as a lot of the queue times that I've had with MOBAs. Usually I can get into a match pretty quick, and we get into the draft system. We don't get too many draft dodgers. Yeah, that happens a lot. And again, the reason that we're going left lane with this is because they have it set up so that it's a different from me, because where your top hero would be tank versus tank, instead it's tank versus carry and support. And with how imbalanced a lot of these characters and aspects of the game are, that's almost impossible for them to do by themselves. It's just really hard. So we're doing it this way because it evens our field, because now we have a tank and a carry versus a tank or a support and a carry. Oh, another 80. That's cool. I feel sorry for that. Because I'm pretty sure that our Seraph is going mid, and Seraph fucks Iggy. Because she can just dive over his turrets, completely ignore his Molotov burn ability, and yeah, just get in his face and shred him. The one thing I do like about Iggy compared to some range characters is his shotgun effect, though, because it is kind of hard to hit characters that are straight moving around really quickly up in your face, unless you turn up your sensitivity and practice with it non-stop. With Iggy, that's not the case. Because of the shotgun-like effect, if they're in front of you, you just have to pull the trigger, and as long as you're facing them, you're pretty much going to hit them. Well, Steel and Sparrow are going right lane. It doesn't matter because, yeah, player failed blocking. Like I said, you won't get too many draft dodgers. It happens. It's an online game. It's what it is. See? Popped you right in the pretty quick. And you go back through the motions. I really hope they also add a favorite character, so that way you don't have to just constantly all the way over, click on and do all that. It's kind of hard to come out, so don't have the sensitivity on your aimer set up too high.
That motherfucker knew what he was doing. I'm gonna play Chimera.
And the other great aspect about this game too is the fact that you get to play with PC players. Like, it allows for a bigger community, and it also shows that, yeah, you can play on accounts on a PC and still get the same results. It doesn't matter. Cool, so we got a Gideon for mid. What's Chimera doing then? Because Chimera can't tank. Aurora can tank, but Chimera can't be a carry. Aurora can be a mid. Right. See, and that's the other thing too, is with these characters, you do have some characters that are defined as is. Like, some of them are just meant to be good supports. Greystone, Narbash, they're great supports. Muriel, great support. That's what they're made for. Then there are other characters that are a lot of gray areas. And that's the problem also with this game, is that a lot of characters are great concepts and everything, but they're not defined enough yet or refined enough to really have their role that they're supposed to play. It's great that they have adaptability, but that adaptability also is a way to make them weak. And they have great tips too. Like, yeah, be nice to new players. I mean, it happens. But at the same time, if your new players don't listen, I mean, that's their fault for not listening. As shitty as that is, I'm sorry, but if you suck and you're not listening to logic and reason, then you just suck. You're not progressing at all. Alright. Pull this back up. Now, like I said, I can build adamant edge first, or I can go with my ant crystals. We're going to stick with the plan. We're going to go with the ant crystals first, instead of the circlet of health like we normally do here. And we're going to head left. And some characters have a really nice jump, which actually allows them to traverse really easily, which I'm hoping that they're going to adjust that a little bit too, because it seems like that is going to play a big part. They have a very expansive territory design here. They have lots of levels, low areas, high areas, places where you can, pop up and shoot down at people. So I'm really hoping that they actually go into like their whole movement aspect and increase the jumps and stuff like that too as well, to really fully utilize what they're trying to do here, because some characters can, easily make the jump there. Other characters cannot. Yeah. Some characters have a great jump, others don't. So I really hope they do fix that, because that'll add a lot of depth to the game that some MOBAs don't have. When some do, like Overwatch and Paragon, they made great stuff like that with played Paragon for a year. That was fun. I didn't like what they were doing. It was a little bit too hectic for me. Still a fun game, though. Yep. But he was at a court. Oh, back up. I can't chase you that way. Okay, now I'm going to start backing up. Now, this is what happens every time when you're playing MOBA. If you have too many people in a lane, of course it's going to alert somebody, and they're probably going to come and help. So always pay attention to that. We had our Aurora leave us half-handedly while the other junglers still came in and started doing business. Now that great phone is their average to have our way. That there's us trying to just kill the minions, get a couple last hits in. And a lot of people like to go gung-ho on this game too. Again, it's probably because a lot of people think that it's not a MOBA. Don't do that. Like, you're supposed to take your time with some things. And on an objective-based game, if you love now, I didn't take my disruptor this time on the second level. I want to take my shield. The reason why is because currently we have a different way of really riding on down. So I want to make sure that I'm prepared instead of being able to move them around a little bit more. And then yeah, we just sit back here, let our mana regen for a little bit. See, nice and easy. This might be a replay. This game is also probably going to be a little bit more attuned to your taste, simply because it's more designed like that with the over-shoulder aspect. And actually being able to see the lane and not overwall like that. Getting into a step-up lane, we'll take the next one or two. Don't take with this combo. You just let them look at you, they run. They don't, well, you kill them.
Tower is under attack.
And always use these circles to escape to as well, because again, it slows down the enemies with the melee enemies. Worst nightmare, because then they're always on the there's nothing they can do and they're just going to keep chasing you until you die, unless they're smart and they back off. I can't shoot in there. Oh, you're behind me. Oh. Down, out of the back up a little bit. Cool, cool. I'm gonna build up mine. Now, see, like I said, at the very least, I'm always gonna be shooting. Now I already have my 90 not bottom power, and I have 20 more power added onto my character instantaneously on my first stack. That's gonna give us a lot of bread and butter. And what's great too is they actually do show you the scaling really well and instantaneously while you're on, while you hold your L2, your upgrade button. And as you can see, my slow toggle is still at the 80% with the 12 mana shot, but it now does 78.6 damage. Which may not seem like a lot, but definitely helps. Now, what I just did there is I used it on the movement. Now, as you saw, they spread out really far. This is bad. It's spread out well, encourage that. You don't want to do that. And your heroes. When it comes to use your episode, yeah, it's a more high damaging ability, but it versus them and causes too much chaos and time. Now, in this instance, we're going to get him to back away from our buddy so he can get under it. Why it doesn't power, because you're not going to go far. And I don't have a way to get out of it. Now, I feel like what we can do is lay down there. Now, he doesn't have oh, he does have no. Get out.
Slain. Enemy double kill.
And that's the other thing, because of what Paragon did, I didn't realize that Grayson leveled up enough to actually have his own hand in the field. And that's what caused. Always make sure that you pay attention to stuff like that. That was my mistake.
Allied tower destroyed.
But what's nice though is that when we're going up against Greystone, so I get to show you the effectiveness of the pen cards that I actually picked up, because he has, of course, a very nice amount of armor that he naturally developed and probably built his oh man, see, they need to help right lane.
Tower is under attack.
There's Greystone again. Now, Greystone, as you saw, he turned stone, launched himself up, and then put back down when he died. That's not something like the ult at the perfect time. His ult, in fact, he just sits there and doesn't do anything. He does a lot of damage, goes to people, and then comes back to life. Help. The way to do this, as soon as he's about to die, and if there's enemies around, thank God, just back up and let them take care of him, and then he'll just waste that ult. He'll still come back to life, but now he's at 50% health, and he's not getting damage. If you have to go, stop firing at them. Otherwise, you just back up. A lot of people like to hold down the trigger. You need to actually hold. Relying on an auto fire, timing. I always make sure to pull my auto back. That way I know I have my it's not like you have to. Now if they come out here to the head. Yeah, you pray, baby. Alright, now I know enough so I can build up my third card. They already went back, so what I'm going to do instead is, since I have a lot of mana, I'm going to go to mid lane and help these guys out. Sevrog is going to stay back. Oh, you got a jumper. Now, you'll also notice, too, I didn't take my ward as the first step, which is normally should. I decided not to. There we go. Now if there's rotation damage,
An enemy tower. An enemy is unstoppable.
oh shit, our left lane got down? See, this is what happens when you have people that don't have good team communication and don't know what they're doing that well. There was fucking up too much, lost a lot of advantages, now we lost our left lane as well. Well, got a little bit too distraction. Chasing is a very big problem in this game. Unless you can guarantee the kill within 2 seconds, don't take. I have to go back because I have almost 5 points now, and going any further, granted I can get more cards and get back, but I should go now because the ward right now is what's going to save our asses. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that ward, which, by the way, also has all of my 1 costs. And since I have 4 points, yep, we're going to get my mana. And the cool thing is, too, is you get at least 2 charges with 1 ward, so you don't have to stack up a lot of wards. You just need to get the one that has the buffs and abilities that you need. Go ahead and start backing up towards the power button. I don't know who... Oh, nice. Now, as the ward placement... Oh, okay. Now, his whirlwind ability is just really fucking me up. But now, as you can see, I got it. And that's, again, I was just wanted to show you how big his area of effect is. You don't go into that, and you would stay back. Then once he's fully at half health, you either let him go, or you would need to face down if someone's there to help you. And again, your respawn time scales, so yeah, I have 1 game where I've had like 2 most deaths and no kills on my game, and we still pulled it out of our asses. But you are going to be sitting in your respawn for a very long time. So, oh, such a big chunk. And you'll get people who sit in the basement and stuff like that. Well, happens. Don't let it go. 1 sec. Now there are people who are that can be right now, but you usually trust them to lead you to where you can go. I only need to show up to slow. It happens.
Allied tower is under attack. An allied tower is under attack. An allied tower destroyed.
And again, this is just what happens naturally when you
Allied
have
tower is under attack.
team communication or working. This is just what happens. I mean, it's not because of comp, it's because of the game. Because people did stupid mistakes and kept doing it. Oh, that is correct. You can't say you have the function in your system where you start parts already put points down. It's just that, and you get those that refund. Be very careful because you lose 8 by 2 squares when you're upgrading your cards and picking your cards, and square for everything else. The reason why is because you will accidentally discard a card. Me and Toothless have done it plenty of times. It's a pain in the ass and can throw a lot of things out of whack and just fuck you. Back up, buddy! There we go, that's a kill. That's how you use that ult. And that's how you save people, using Grim. Now I'm going to start backing up instead of chasing like she's doing. And I have 3 mana. I already have an upgrade again, so yep, we're gonna go with the Amp Crystal to get that extra additional mana, and more importantly, the power that I really start becoming more effective at this point in the game. After this, we're probably gonna do basic pen because all the characters that we're facing currently are usually some of the beefier kind of characters that get good health skill and armor skill. And here we go. And then I can just sit by tower. See how I got in there? Skills look fairly easy and went straight back to me. That's what I'm talking about. You want to try every second counts with that thing. Now you see a kind of stupid thing. He's going to try to take out 2 people at once. They're running something because they have both on his ult down. But you will see stuff like that where you will have one person go in on 2 players, and the 2 players just for some reason won't understand what to do and will get killed because of a stupid mistake. It's simply because they don't know how to properly utilize them. And you're going to lose especially with the Greystone, you just automatically, especially if you have your ult up, you're going to win. It's just
Killing spree. An enemy tower is under attack.
And Howitzer is nothing to sneeze at either. He does splash damage, so he doesn't have to aim as well and still can hit you for a good amount. He's pretty mobile and has some good abilities with him too as well. And again, Greystone's ult, if that was up at all, or even just had a couple of seconds, it's game over for that guy. But, silly mistake, silly death. He wants to die silly. Well, except for me, apparently. Yep. Not this guy. And again, silly things lead to silly deaths. And what's good about this game too, like all multiple games in my opinion, is that even in situations like this where we look like we're down, one mistake, 2 mistakes, and all of a sudden they're on their ass. So if you need a good game to play, that aspect alone makes it very easy. You really can't out of your ass and go back to where like that Fang Mao left with Aurora with our Fang Mao, and like they could have just kept going and completely ignored that. We could have gotten that kill and then pushed even further. How is the character I actually have yet? I am probably going to play them for tonight and get them on because me of like a grungy rocket raccoon skill set is kind of very like that as well, and that's just some of the in fact, I'm almost positive that he is just a call out to rocket raccoons. You're going to find a lot of call outs to other characters or other influences for that character. Like Grups, let's be honest, that's a call out. Brings the ghost in the there's good things like that. And if you have any questions about the game, it's actually really good at keeping their player base with this game on Paragon. They have the roadmap up right now. The content, there's just a really good, informative group of damn it, I didn't kill it. Oh shit. God, come on!
Has been slain. Enemy tower.
Get away from me! No! No! Okay, you don't want to be as I said, the aimer is a little bit off because the reticle is there. It aims below the reticle. That's a problem with a lot of the characters I've noticed on Paragon is that the reticle isn't actually lined up with the gun. It's lined up below and to the left. If you notice, mine doesn't hit the reticle dead on. It actually goes starts and goes to the left up a little bit. So you have to make sure that you realize that and take that into account. Yeah, it kind of sucks and they do need to balance that and readjust that, but at least it's noticeable enough where you can figure it out and then just slightly adjust. It's not too bad. I have no mana and I'm going into battle. That's stupid. Yeah, I'm going to go back because I have 5 card points. Oh yeah, and that Greystone is charging up here. Nope, not dealing with that shit. And like I said, we're going to be going to the fracturing spike afterwards here. I'm going to be building up this card, and actually we'll build it now and just get 4 pen and a little bit of mana regen, and then we're going to go back out. The reason why is because I could have waited and just gotten the other card to fully upgrade that one, but it's better to start off sometimes and get another card to start off. He actually has his ult. I realize it. So we're going to do that now. Do that. Oh, I killed him. That now gets you back on mana. You got a quarter health now. If he does die, of course, like I said, his ult up, so he will come back to life. But at least at this point, now you have to think about that. And besides doing things, he will get shredded as soon as he comes back.
Allied inhibitors under attack.
And again, communication is key. Like me and Toothless, we use our signals all the time or as much as possible. Some players will do this, will also do the same thing. Other ones will, regardless of the you informing them could still save somebody or ensure that you get the game. I also don't know if they're actually going to come out with actual team chat inside the game. So talking to people over there. As you see now, I'm getting impressive. My slow now is up to there it is. But again, it counts as slow in the basic attack in the when a basic attack hits, you proc it. When an ability hits, you proc it. Rim's really good for cards like that and getting all these someone needs to go right. Part of it right here. And then I just pop it. And now that's really paid. I just pop it and still run away. And now if he tries to come back in, he's not going to be able to take us because we have strength. What I love about this, my habits are so now we're going to build the 2 here, and then we're going to go to this. All of these are which isn't too bad for HF. I don't know how they scale it. I think some things might have a lower respawn time than others. I don't know for sure because I haven't played yet.
Annihilation.
That was really good. Oh. Like, yeah, he's gonna get the Howitzer, but you don't need the Howitzer when he's using a base. Now, here's, yeah, like I said, that lob part is really hard to deal with. If you can master it, oh my god. Now, the thing is, like I said, so any that they take, just it really starts. They think that they need a little bit more health and a little bit more damage, or a different way of outputting damage on a laser. I think the first qualifier is and they also already have it implemented for they'll boost the opportunity. Like, hey, you're gonna get kicked soon. I think the max before you get muted. So always be mindful of that. P-breaks. Take them when you're respawning at least 30 seconds. If you have to poop, better hold it and hope to God your colon doesn't explode. Yeah, or have a button. I mean, plenty of fucking It's a fucking thing. Walk South Park. And we've all seen it as well now. Hey, this jacket I don't condone it, but it happens. I've pissed in bottles going on road trips, it's no good. Oh, the fact that we're still alive is amazing. Oh, there we go. And it really helps. You just wreck those guys. Simply because. I'm also just switching out Alright, now I'm gonna head back. And a lot of people will say walk to basically so close. Always teleport because it's quicker. It's just quicker. There we go, more pen. Oh, there's this guy.
Enemy has been slain.
More health like that when he comes back. So that actually procs after Greystone's ult. So it's a really nice card to have. It's just not. But again, that's really helps you guys. Never surrendering because one, you get less reputation. But you might stop right now. The other idea is again because you never know what's actually going to happen. You can pull some shit out your ass. Like we should have honestly died a long time ago. Here we are. Still going. Now, if we can't get to their team, or if we take out the getting to the inhibitors, we're gonna be here for quite a bit. Especially because I'm, the one monolith. Such is the life of support. Finish that out. Then we get that additional 12 power. And yeah, really good. Probably going to go with Adamant Edge just to get the additional health and make sure that now I can start taking some damage longer because we're getting to the point now where they're going to start one-shotting some more health. We're gonna start going, getting more. Yeah, buddy. How? How did we get launched around this way? Who moved me? That must be another glitch. Yeah, I literally just bounced into the air for no reason. Huh. Oh. Oh shit. Perfectly fine.
An ally has been slain.
Boy, as long as we keep backing up. No, you'll see the warts on the map, bud. They'll be orange. Get that. Well, we can. We just have the back door. So, yeah, we don't have anyone quick enough to do that. Well, no, we have Feng Mao. I mean, Feng Mao can backdoor, or Chimera, one of the two, but only one can backdoor while the rest will stay back. That's another trick that a lot of people will use in this game too that you need to watch out for is backdooring. It's not as common in some other MOBA types, but in this one, it's very popular because the bases won't attack you, or the inhibitors won't attack you when you go through them. And the core turret doesn't actually do that much damage, so if you're a good melee character with damage output, you can just run straight to the base if the inhibitors are down and everything, and you start smacking the core, and you're good. I've seen plenty of Gruxes and Chimeras who start dying and shit because they get killed. Guess it's just him. Oh, guess what he's gonna do. Slow ability, man. So good. Stop that one. Now we're gonna crap ability. No root ability instead of a long build health. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back on later on and we'll go over some more heroes. As always, support legalization in your devs. It's just the right thing to do.